Hey, I'm Faye, a brand and web designer dedicated to helping small business owners and entrepreneurs bring their visions to life. And today I'm working on this month's social media content for my client Essence of the Soul. You can see here I've already created their brand. They have a strategy, they have a vision, a mission, they know their target audience, and they have brand assets that support their vision and their direction. And in addition, they already know exactly how to use these elements together to best represent their brand. Now, all we have to do is actually bring it to life, and that's what I'll be doing today.
You know.
I've already also created a batch of templates just to kind of get a idea of what she's interested in, what she likes, and she loves all of these ideas. Once again, I just have to apply it to this month's content that she needs it for. So let's get started. Okay, so first off, I typically talk with my social media clients in depth to understand exactly what they'd like to post that month. So this is me writing out all of the social media posts I have planned for my client for this month. So this month we have 8 posts, 2 per week, and I just went through and I wrote out all of the copy for these posts. Once everything's approved, I'm ready to start designing. So let's get to it. Alrighty, so this post was ways I can help you. So that's already good to go, that's approved. Post 2 was all about individual therapy. That's already ready to go. And now we're gonna work on post 3. Let's take a mindful moment. Alrighty, so what I will do before I even create this post is keep in mind the pattern of her feed. So we have a white background and we have a green background, a light green background. So we need to know what comes next when it comes to her social media pages. I have that in her brand style guide right here, the IG feed layout. So based off of where we are, white, green, it looks like we are going to need a dark green background next. So I'll start by creating that. Since I have the brand kit set up in Canva, I'm able to easily shuffle the colors needed. Cool, a mindful moment. And let's actually look for an image that represents mindfulness better. I think I love this, honestly. The way that the rocks kind of form a gradient from the bottom to the top. And that'll be followed by content on the inside of the carousels. And I'm able to just copy paste and put the information in pretty quickly because everything's been approved by my client ahead of time. Cool beans. And lastly, we have these 2 slides, which are already made and copied from the last post. Let's take the first step towards healing and embrace self-discovery with a 30-day challenge. These are already approved, so this post is good to go. Let's delete all the other content and give it one last look through. Cool, time for post 4. Post 4 is going to be tips for setting boundaries. And I already actually have a template specific to this one, so it'll speed up the process even more. So here it is. And then within this carousel, we'll have a couple points that we're going to break down on. That way people can engage more with the post. So 1, the importance of setting healthy boundaries. Let's paste this and center. Perfect. Next. Cool. Are we done? Yeah. And then we're going to top it off with those last 2 posts again. Let's actually make it a consistent thing where we end with a question. So, is setting boundaries a challenge for you? This encourages people, even if they don't continue scrolling and seeing the call to actions, they might comment or they might even DM her, reaching out and letting her know that boundaries is a problem for them so that they can then set up a therapy session. Either way, you do want to offer your followers opportunities to engage with you. That way, you get more leads, they're more satisfied, and overall your business should hopefully go much better. So let me highlight boundaries here, and then I'm going to go back to the other posts and make sure each of them have either a question or a call to action before they get to these 2 slides. So setting boundaries, that's relevant to this post. Are you feeling more at peace? Are you ready to explore your path to healing and growth? Yes, that's relevant. Are you ready to discover your inner strength? That technically counts. Now all of them have a question. Time to move on to post 5. Post 5. This is a green background, and what we are looking for next is actually a yellow background. So let's make a copy for 7 billion versions. Already have something for that, and we're just going to change the colors of it. So let me delete these, delete this, and move this forward. There are 7 billion versions of normal on this planet. So let me change the colors so that the background is yellow. Perfect. And our brand guidelines, you'll see that it's against the brand rules to have the color green on top of yellow unless it's being used as an accent. This is mostly because it's hard to read this way. So the workaround for this issue typically is to put a rectangle under it, so that way it can still pop out and be very easy to read. So let me do just that. So there are 7 billion versions of normal on this planet. Let's move on to the next, and then copy paste this description. And then there's our call to action. I invite you to share what normal looks like for you in the comments below. So we don't need to go out of our way to include a question. So now that people can engage with that, end it with a book your free consultation and join our challenge. And then let's delete everything else. That is good to go. Post 6. Once again, we have white, we have light green, we have dark green, yellow, dark green again. And then, of course, we're going to go back to light green. Specialized trauma support. And for this, what I'm actually going to do is go to her Google My Business page and take a little screenshot of her review. So I would like to include a question in here. Once again, either a question or a call to action to get people to engage with this. Something about trauma-informed care. So maybe what I'll do is, do you think trauma-informed therapy would help you? And then we'll say, book a free call. Let's delete this and take a look through everything that we have. So all about specialized trauma support. What is specialized trauma support? Yes. Why does it matter? Yes. I address a variety of traumas. Yep, that's next. I have a large therapeutic toolbox. Kind words. That helps build trust. And then, do you think specialized trauma support would help you? And let's take the first step towards healing. So now we can move on to the next post. So, yep, last one was green. One before this was dark green. Next up, we have a white background post. So for 7 tips for getting good sleep, create a ritual, limit screen time, avoid late caffeine, prioritize comfort, manage stress levels, and keep naps short. Cool. What else are we going to include in this carousel? Quality sleep matters. And I did want to mention that having things broken down slide by slide helps make it a little bit easier to read. Like if I decided instead of having everything, broken down the way that it is onto a multiple slide carousel, and instead I decided, let me actually get all of my information on just one page. Having all of that information on the screen makes it actually impossible for your people to read it. When you have this much information, people sometimes get either mentally fatigued or they simply scroll by it, especially when there's much easier content to read online. You want to make sure that you actually make things easy to engage with, easy to read. And the best way to do that is to keep each slide of your carousel very short. People swipe on their phone all the time. They're used to that. They're not used to reading huge paragraphs of text. So it's better for them to swipe more often to consume your content than it is for them to not be able to read it at all. So yes, what's next? Establishing a calming routine. Cool. Diet and exercise tips. And let's actually make this onto 2 lines. Yep, that's a little bit more visually balanced. How therapy can help your sleep-related issues. And there's our call to action. I encourage you to share your own sleep tips and experiences. What works for you? And people will comment then, hopefully, their sleep experiences. Cool. And then we can throw in the last 2. Let's take the first step towards healing. Cool. That's good to go. That is good to go. Last post. We are almost done. All right, we do want this to be on a light green background, so this requires a design that has a rectangle on it. That's because, once again, the light green backgrounds can't be used with the other colors without clashing. Let me actually show you. When it comes to using the brand's colors, the light green background doesn't have enough contrast versus any of the other colors to be used to just plainly write text on. So what we're going to do is add a rectangle on top of the green so that we can use other colors with it. I don't recommend using the yellow because it has the same exact issues that the green does. But if we put a either dark green or a white rectangle on top of the green, it provides a good enough background to properly use it. This is used on their website too, in places like this, where we have the green background, but on top of the green background, we have to have a rectangle to write the words. If we don't have the words on a rectangle like these, it's much harder to read. So same thing applies here. So let me actually get back to it. Stop the yapping. So trauma affects us deeply, influencing our emotions, behaviors, and relationships. I'm here to offer you support, understanding, and guidance. This is a little bit longer than I actually would like it to be, because when we have it expanded, it doesn't have enough white space. There's not enough room to breathe. But when it's more condensed, it's either too long and takes up too much vertical space, or it kind of has this one extra word at the end, which I don't appreciate. So I'm going to kind of condense it a little bit. I'm here to offer you the support, understanding, and guidance you need every step of the way. What I'll write instead is I'm here to offer you support, understanding, and guidance every step of the way. I'm going to actually tweak this a little bit. So understanding is first, since it's a longer word. So that way we don't have that like super short second line. See, that's much better. It looks better visually, and honestly, it's less wordy. But what we do need is a call to action. So how can I help you? We'll highlight help, make it a little bit more condensed. So what I'm going to actually do is incorporate the brand pattern on the side of this. That way, even if it is empty, there's a little bit more to look at. Let me include a gradient, so that way we're not unable to read it. And then we'll throw in our last 2 slides before we wrap up. Perfect. So we are all good to go now. Now that I have all of those downloaded, I'm going to make a little graphic that makes it easier for both me and my client to visualize the entire feed and what it'll look like throughout this month. So I'm going to go to Freepik first. And I downloaded this mock-up of a device with the Instagram feed on it. This just makes it a lot easier for me to make a mock-up. So I'm going to take that, bring it in to Canva. So I'm just going to bring in the frames so that way I'm able to easily drag and drop this and not worry about if I can edit it in the future. And then for the carousel, I'll just have a few more going out of the phone. That way we can visualize the carousel in action. So now let's bring in the elements. So we do want to make sure we're going according to the correct brand pattern. So let me get back over there. So the last thing she posted was a green. So we're going to move on to white, green, and then so on. So let me start with white, and then I'm just going to fill this in with green because it's understood that that was the color of her last one. And I'll just do the same thing down here with the dark green and the yellow. When I'm looking at this, I'm starting to notice that we have 2 of the same style of posts. So what I'm actually going to do is adjust this navigate one to be similar to the specialized trauma support one, except coming from the bottom. Yeah, that is much better. So that's going to be the feed for this month. So let me just throw this in right here, and then I'm going to bring these in so that she can see the carousel in action. So right now she just has a regular photo of herself for her profile picture. I'm just going to throw in a free profile picture for her. So let me look for a picture of her first. I'm actually going to do this one. So in that one, she's smiling and looking at the camera. So I'm going to do that. Cool. And I'm going to bring it into Photoshop so I can get rid of her background. And let me select the subject and then I'll mask it. I'm going to round out these shoulders just so that it doesn't feel so rigid. I'm going to zoom in one more time so So we have just her head. All right, Markia. So let me export this. I'm gonna go back into Canva, bring in her photo, remove the background, and change the background for something that's in her brand color palette. Yeah, we can't do that. Can't do that. The beige it is. Beige it is. She looks good with that. She looks really good with that. All right, so what I'm actually gonna do is, so that we can get that extra pop of color, I'm gonna add a circular frame in her brand colors. I'm gonna edit these colors and make this better. Yes, I think that's it. All right, so that's gonna be her profile picture, and then I'll throw that into here once again, just so she can see it in action. Otherwise, she is good to go. All right, so now we have a whole month's worth of social media content ready to be scheduled out. Working in batches makes it easier for you, one, not to have to worry about what you're going to be posting later on in the month, but it also makes it a lot easier to plan out your visual feed and make sure that things look good in advance. When you're making content day of and just looking for something to post, the content doesn't usually have a clear strategy, and it's usually not your best work. But when you prepare content far in advance and you post throughout the month by scheduling it in batches, you have room for adjustment, room for tweaks, and you really just have the opportunity to get your best work out there. Not even to mention, it helps you stay a lot more consistent. Okay, so that is this month's batch of social media content for my therapist client, and hopefully we are all good to go. I'd love to make more videos like this, honestly, just recording my work process and the type of content I create for my clients. So if you let me know that you like this, I'll continue making it. I think that's about it for now. So if you like this video, be sure to like, subscribe, leave me a comment letting me know you liked it. I make videos to help you elevate your brand once a week, every Monday, so I'd love to catch you again. Alrighty, so you have a great day, you take care of yourself, and I'll catch you next week. Bye!